Hey guys, okay, it's a new day. That means that we have to live again today. Uh-oh, I gotta reach for my lemonade. Welcome in. And I'm coming on at a little bit later of a time, not because I just woke up, but because it's Easter. I'm recording this on Easter, but already a number of friends have been up. Because you know what happens, if we're gonna get into this, I got so much that needs to roll off my tongue like so fast. But there were so many great podcasts and great conversations and tutorials and all of that going on. So I was like, never miss a moment to learn something, right? As I sipped some lemonade and I got a lot of pulp in there, so I'm like, now I got lemon all over my mouth. So anyway, I'm using some new tools, and so I wanted to check out a couple of things to make sure I'm using them correctly and at the optimum best so that I can give you guys my best. And so you know now that we started out on one platform and now we're trying to do a couple of them at the same time. So rather than managing multiple devices and multiple streams and all that, I'm trying to minimize this thing. I'm trying to be time wise, and so glad that that's my mission. But I'm so glad I did take the time to stop and check out what was already happening around me, because I got a couple of answers. So shout out again, and you gonna hear me drop Miss Eileen a lot because she's one of those people. I mean, that's her lane, doing the tutorials and keep an eye on all these different platforms as they change. So I need to grab another device so I can see. I turned on some additional options here. So I want to make sure that everything is working and is copacetic. Let me see. And I just hit refresh on it, and I didn't mean to do that. Don't you hate when you on your device, you try to scroll to the top and it refreshes the page? Sometimes that could be a bad thing. Sometimes it could be a good thing. And so let me open that up because apparently all the comments are going one particular place. And I like to open up, and in this multi-streaming opportunity, you don't want to mention the platforms. It's like there's so much on us as content creators. And I'm also streaming to one of the groups today. So let me see. I don't know that this is even going to work on this device. I'm trying to get to my comments. Okay. It's like, no, we don't want to do that over here. What in the world? Hold on. I'm not trying to get stalled out here, but I want this to work. Okay, wait a minute. What am I on? Let me go. Let me try good old Google. Let me see. I was trying to do it on Chrome, so I guess it's like I don't want to fool with Chrome. I know I had it working on something. Let's see if we can get it going on over here. One of these I should already be logged in. So, and here's what happened was I was listening to, let me tell you about tutorials and let me tell you about going to other people for advice and how to is what you don't want to do. You want to know where you are and how I'm real particular about remaining productive, but there's so much developers. One reason is, and I know I'm not complete, I feel like I'm not completing any statement, because this is what happens when you get an overflow of information. One thing is, we need to be mindful for those of us who use these tools as entertainment, for those of us who use these tools to create content, for those of y'all out there that are developing. We're in a crunch right now. We're in the midst of heading into the funding season. So developer conferences, people are trying to get their products together so that they can go, because these conferences have already started. We just had NAB. I don't know if everybody's even back from that. You got, didn't we have also, dang, what was it? South by Southwest. It happened. I didn't even hear a lot about South by Southwest this year. It's changed. It's really changed. It used to be, the place where if you were going to lunch in something, you would have done it there. I didn't hear a lot about South by Southwest. I saw a couple of people that went, but this is what happens in the spring. All of the conferences, the conventions, the associations, and all of that stuff starts happening. People have pitched to be speakers, and everybody's in crunch mode. I have got something on my eyelid, and I cannot get it off. And this is what happens. Remember I said one eye open? This is why I have one eye open. For those of you jumping on, let me reset. I'm Yolanda at DryerBuzz. I'm live just outside Atlanta. And this is a daily podcast that I do. It's called How to Get Out of Bed. And it's usually one eye open, first thoughts of the morning, frog still in my throat. Sometimes I get up and I open my mind to a number of things, and that's why I like to do this before I do all this other stuff, because I become as discombobulated as I sound right now, because I've taken this information. I tried to jot that down so that I can come back to it, and I'm trying to get the comment screen up so I can see your comments so that I can engage with you. And I may have to abort that and just go over to one of the platforms. I'm looking to see. And this is why this is why I get frustrated, because as all of these developers are trying to tweak everything with their product and make it stand out so they can go into these rounds of funding, they start messing us up. Literally, they throw a wrench in what we're doing, and this is like taking forever. So we're gonna abort that, and let me just come on over here to my Periscope folks and say hello. But we're also sending this to Facebook and YouTube and all the other stuff. And I tell you, and it looks different. I know I'm giving you guys a different look. I'm trying to put a hey Celsi, I'm trying to put a some branding on this thing, simply because the workflow. And I thank you, Miss Eileen, for that word. She mentioned her workflow. Y'all know how I am about. I love language, because language helps us articulate what we were doing. And I am in the process of trying to write down my workflow. When she said that, I was like, no better time than right now to write down the workflow so that we can figure out how this goes. And when I tell y'all writing down the workflow of this podcast alone, just coming in here, having this open, transparent, truthful, honest conversation. Remember, I talked about the things that we have to do the minute I hit that stop button. And so by doing some of these things while I'm broadcasting, it helps me to, when I end the broadcast, to be done, right? It helps when you end the broadcast to just simply be done. I'm trying to get to a point, and for those of us who have issues getting out of bed, we need to be more time wise. We need to be more time wise, because it is those little things that consume us, that we get consumed with. And those things so quickly become the past. And depression and anxiety is about living in the past. So when I hit that stop button, and if I have to continue to deal with something on the broadcast, something about the broadcast, or the reason we couldn't do a broadcast, that's the anxiety, and then that ends up becoming depression, because you start dwelling on the fact that something did not go well. When we need to learn that in the order of our universe, some things are not going to go well. Some days are not going to be perfect, okay? I have been looking at different platforms too, looking at Switcher now. And for me, on a mobile, Switcher is the best thing ever. It is. But then I'm also jealous of what's going on Ecamm and all of that. But I'm like, well, Yolanda, you don't want to go to the desktop. You don't want to start dragging that laptop around with you. You're limited by your iPad and all those kinds of things. And Switcher suffices with that. I'm able to do what I do. I'm able to monetize what I'm doing. It's attracting the audience that I want to attract. And at the bottom line, I'm able to monetize, right? So because I am mobile, I'm in the city, I'm in the kitchen, I'm just not sedentary at the desktop. So when I see that, I'm like, girl, leave it alone. Because I have a wonderful sedentary. I don't want to use the word sedentary, but I have a wonderful workspace. I have a wonderful workspace that I set up that has, my computer, my art, all those things, my books and all of that. In fact, I started that way. I started there when I came back into this. I'm trying to stay away from desktop. Yeah, I created a beautiful desktop space. In fact, I'm looking at it right now. There's 2 chairs. I'm like, why are there 2 chairs over there? Because I messed up one chair. My daughter got me another chair, but I don't want to throw out the good chair. Because, it's my old chair. And I went to clean it off, and the cleaning product jacked up what was supposed to have been leather. Kind of find out that wasn't leather, because leather would not have responded to the cleaning product the way this chair did. So they want to get rid of the chair because it's now an ugly chair. And I'm like, but it's still so comfortable. And plus, my mommy bought me that chair. You can't get rid of that chair. We got to figure out what to do with that. So my daughter has gone through the extent of bringing home another chair, and now there are two chairs. I would show y'all the picture, but it's clean across the room. Now there are two chairs sitting at my desk, and my son, when he's visiting, he grabs one and pulls it in front of the television, for his gaming thing. In fact, he just takes over the whole entire space for the gaming. So, but when I came back on, put my blogging hat back on, I literally started out in the workspace. It wasn't until I went into the kitchen. I left the workspace, walked over into the kitchen, and everybody was like, oh, wait, then we ended up in the kitchen. So I know that I'm not going to go back. And plus, I'm not doing the how-tos, the tutorials, and all of that anymore. I have come to understand that that was just a season. And this is, again, guys, we're talking about time-wise today. That's the word. I even tag time-wise on this particular, and I usually don't title these, but because I sat in on a couple things that Miss Eileen was doing, and we talked about workflow, time-wise, as I started writing down my workflow, I wrote down time-wise because I want to organize, because my live streams are so long. And I said, I got to figure out a way to break them down. But I'm always so anxious to go ahead and go live. And I need to break up my live streams. And I wrote down time-wise. And that's what I want to talk about today, time-wise. And so time-wise, in order to be more, I'm all about productivity. That I'm a productivity specialist. That's what I do. It's like, here's how we can get this done. For anybody that's trying to get something done, that's when you call me. Don't call me until you're ready to say it's done, until you're ready to just get it done. And a lot of times people will call me and they was like, I just want to, see, what it is to work with you. I want to do this next year in a couple of months. Okay, call me then, because giving it to me now, I can't help you, because I'm all about getting it done now. I am the now person. When you want it now. That's when you call me. Don't call me and tell me, next year you're bringing a project to Atlanta. I can't do nothing for you right now, because in 365 days, Atlanta will be something entirely different. All the media, mediums, platforms, technology, all of that will have changed by the time you get ready. So time-wise, only call me when you want it done now. I can tell you how to get it done right now today. Okay, that's what we do. Let me switch over here, guys. And I keep thinking I'm talking to this that I have in my hand, and that's not the case. As I look around, I was trying to open this browser. Let me see. Okay, cool. It's there. All right. Now I think I can see. I was trying to set up, and no, the Periscope stuff is not coming through. So let me just drop this on here. I like to just drop a comment over there, see if I can get it to work. And you know what? I saw. See, I swear to you, I feel like my devices, I feel like my touch screen, my screens are not responding. That's what I feel like. And I don't know if it's a broadcast. I think it just wants me to use the iPad, and I hate using the iPad, because I feel like, I'm telling you, I don't like iPad. I really don't. Hold on. I just want to send this comment, and it would not let me send it. So this is just not working. Time-wise, workflow, yeah, it's not. And I don't know I know there is a major influx to Restream right now, and I don't know if their system is getting taxed, because apparently there was a deal that went out, so everybody's using. That's why if you look all up and down your timeline, you see everybody's running all these different tests and stuff. So now it's just not. It's not copacetic, so it's not working. It's streaming just fine, just to the comment stuff. It's not working. So I have got to go over here, and this is like messing up the workflow, because I cannot deliver this message like I want to, because now I want to greet these people that are coming in, and I think this device is maybe, I don't know, and I know it's not user error. I'm not even about to say that, but I want to And the thing about it is, I was trying not to have to use, trying not to have to use so many devices. I don't want to use another device for everything. Anybody, I'm going to tell you like this, anybody that's going to a conference this week, what we need, anybody that's putting out all these devices, engagement. Hey, Black Ice, and I know you just jumped from over to Facebook because I know you're having issues on Periscope. So, I'm bringing this up. I'm trying to. What I don't want to do, I don't want to have to sit here with a bunch of devices. But you go live so that you can engage with people. Otherwise, you just sit and record. And what I feel like these platforms are doing right now, everybody's trying to get you to be 100% one thing. We understand that that's happening in gig economy all over. Ride share, everything. They don't want you bouncing from Uber to Lyft. They want you to pick one. Everybody wants you to pick one. Amazon don't want you shopping on Groupon, and Burger King don't want you going to McDonald's. Taco Bell don't want you going to Del Taco. But what they need to understand is we go where we get the best deal. That's just pure and simple. We go where we get the best deal. We go where we get the best bang for our buck. We go where we get time wise the most productivity. We go where we feel our feelings. We go where we feel like we are treated the best and we get the most. It's all about the feeling. If you are doing anything, if you're working on any kind of project, how are you making people feel? That's what makes them come back. People are all up in their feelings, especially at a time when everybody is an influencer, when everybody has an audience, when everybody has a following. Everybody wants to tell somebody how they feel, right? And if you're not doing anything to make a person feel a certain way, everybody's caught up in their feelings. I'm telling you, I feel real funny right now. It's a holiday. It's my first holiday where I got to go figure out what I'm going to do. I ain't got no kids to buy no Easter baskets for. I've got to go. Everybody's in their feelings. And when I go, like right now, I love a fish sandwich. Okay. Now there's no place I know that has a really good fish. Y'all know some places got a really good fish sandwich because I'm like done with these burgers. Okay. My body is like, look, girl, you done had enough burgers in your life. I need a fish sandwich. I need a really good fish sandwich, right? And it's so funny because normally when I want this fish sandwich, it's not during the normal business hours. And so that in and of itself cuts down what's available to me. And so I have to try to find, so the place that I have found to have to go and get this fish sandwich, I have to tell them to do a whole lot to it. And luckily it's that kind of place where, I could say, well, do this, do that, and this kind of thing, right? And so I am settling for this fish sandwich. I'm not getting a good fish sandwich. I'm trying to make a bad fish sandwich good, and they're trying to accommodate me. Okay, we'll do this and do that, do this and do that, right? But what I need to do is I need to become more time wise so that I can go to the place to get the good fish sandwich, which is this restaurant where they have a fish sandwich that's in their rotation of their weekly, daily specials, right? So I've got to sync myself up to when they're offering this. Hey, the artist, I have got to become time wise and sync myself up to when they offer this good fish sandwich. They have a lunch menu, they rotate, and they have a $7 sandwich that they offer. Now it's a gourmet restaurant, but they realize that, hey, there's a whole nother audience out there that needs to run in, grab a bite, and go. So they have created a menu and a time. Right? You're not coming when our premium customers here. You're going to have to do this time-wise. We're going to have to be time-wise so we can get you in and out because you're not necessarily our demographic. However, what you are is a sustainable income for us that they can boost their budget. They realize that. So therefore, if we make you feel welcome at a particular time, you'll roll in, get this, we can feed you. You've got influence, you've got a following, you've got not just me, but everybody. But you at a certain price point. You're not coming to get this sandwich when we sell this same sandwich at $20 to $30, right? But you want it at $7, and I got a way to dial it back to $7. So you come at this time to get it at $7. Now you come later than that, it's gonna be $20, $30 because we're gonna add some more of the bouginess to it. So I just got to time wise sync myself up so that I can go get that sandwich, and then I don't have to try to get this other place that sells a fish sandwich for a couple of dollars and try to make it the $7 sandwich. Okay, can you use DoorDash to pick it up? And that's again, remember time wise, yes, I can, and I've got to figure out if, and I think they are on there. And but you know what, the artists, if you think about it, that's what I've had to do for in the kitchen with DryerBuzz. I have realized that I can no longer, nor am I welcome to go to the store and live stream. They don't want. They don't want. I remember I had to run in the store live streaming my shopping, and I'm like, but I still want to support that store because I still love some of the employees there. I ain't trying to run a boycott against the store, but time wise, because I need to spend a little bit more time prepping my production and getting dressed. I got to work on the wardrobe, the makeup, the hair, and all of that before I go live. I don't have time to shop, but I realized that I could still do the show if I order the groceries. So now what do? I take a few minutes or throughout the week as I come up, hey Drea, as I come up with what I think I want to cook, I go in all through the week and I add those items to my cart. And then 2 hours before time for me to go live, because I want the freshest ingredients, right? And the shoppers, they've come to know me. They know that if she puts avocado on her list, she wants an avocado she can use what? Now. Not don't bring me an avocado that I gotta keep around the house for a week to ripen, because I'm a now person, right? So those who shop, because this particular store is in my neighborhood, they have some of the I'm starting to see the same shoppers. They know what I like. They know how to pick what I want, and they know I'm particular about my lemons, my pro. That particular store knows I'm particular. They see my order. She's particular about the produce. Okay, she gonna go. You know she gonna go live if it ain't right. You know she gonna go live if it is right. Hey Vern. So, and they know, and you know, this is the only way we can keep her business if our order is right. She already done told us she's never going to come in the store again, because I don't want to tell them to fire not home girl, Becky. They got a Becky. They hired a Becky up in there, y'all. And she's making hella people in the neighborhood uncomfortable. She's kind of like a Megan McCain. Okay. And she's making the store, and to the point where I go elsewhere. But when I'm ordering, I know that 2 hours prior to going live, I need to order my groceries. But like right now, I'm thinking next week, what am I going to make? I bought a big old package of salmon. I'm like, Lord, now I got all, y'all know I'm like having food in my freezer, right? Good morning. So I have got to, figure this thing out. So you saying I can get that fish sandwich if I'm going to see if they're on DoorDash. I don't think they're on Uber Eats. But we're at a point where all of these things are trying to get us at 100%. When we are searching, we're searching for the best deal. I'll tell y'all, I was in Bed Bath & Beyond, and I was looking at a juicer at the time. And I was like, ooh, I don't know if I want to buy this one, because what we need to pay particular attention to, some of these stores have, the reason they have so many different model numbers is because they have last year's product, this year's product. They got all this stuff, right? So I was in Bed Bath & Beyond, and I was looking online and looking at what they had in the store. And I was like, well, dang, this price is kind of good, but then I got to pay the shipping and I ain't going to get it for a couple of days. The manager came over to me. He was like, okay, I noticed, you shopping, he's like, I see what you got going on here. He says, listen, if you buy here, he says, I will get it to you, because I think they either they only had one or only had a display. For some reason, I couldn't walk out the store with it right then, and I was going to order online. He said if you order on our website, I'll match the price, and we'll have it delivered here to the store for you. You don't have to wait for it to come to the house or worry about the porch pirates, right? And he talked me out of buying it online. He talked me to buying it in the store and to come back and pick it up in the store. And I was like, that's what I'm talking about. You better know this thing is going on. So we're looking for time wise and how we feel. Right now, I feel real funny that I can't see all my comments. And Let me see. I'm going to try and jump back over here one more time and see if this thing is capturing anything. And I don't think it's capturing anything. It keeps saying the chat is waiting. But yeah, I'm seeing comments. And one of the reasons I know that people are saying that they're Periscope is probably all because here's what's probably going on. We're in developer season, y'all. Our developers are out there. Their backs up against the wall. They are probably exhausted right now because whenever we have these great migrations, I call them great migrations, where more and more the mainstream comes to these tools. So people who have been using the beta testers that have been using these tools, they're seeing this influx of the mainstream coming on. And, these products are now coming out of beta because it's funding season. You gotta get ready to come out of beta. These funders are wanting what's the final. They want the final product. So you're seeing them, everybody's trying to get their numbers up. That's why probably Restream put out a deal, because now it's time to go to the developers conference. It's time to go to all the different developers conference, all these different platforms. I don't care what kind of app you come up with. It's got to function with the top 8. So right now, everybody's trying to figure out how they're going to flow with the top 8. The top 8 being YouTube, number 1, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, WhatsApp. I think WhatsApp is still kind of a standalone, even though it's been acquired by the untrustworthy folks over at Facebook. And WhatsApp was the primo app for privacy. So there's a lot of concern right now with Mark Zuckerberg having anything to do with WhatsApp. And I think the leader of WhatsApp, WhatsApp was really used outside of the country, because once you get outside of America, people are still concerned with their privacy. They're still concerned with their data. Whereas in America, we all about how does it make me feel? Because if you make me feel good, if you give me a good deal, you can have all my information. You can have all my data, honey. Here's my license. Here's my social. That's what Americans are doing right now, okay? And that's actual factual. I'm talking to you, I'm talking about the stats on what's happened within the last 2 years, right? And you're giving all your information. When you hit that agree button, when you go playing them quizzes and them games and all that kind of stuff, and you don't click that advance button to turn this off and turn that off, you just say, oh, I agree. And you going to play that game, or you going to get that coupon, or you going to get that price, that deal. You have given them access to all your stuff and your friend's stuff, right? That's why you can't delete a group text no more. They're like, no, we want to track all y'all. So please stop adding people to these group things, especially if you notice, for those of y'all on iPhones, you can't even delete a group text no more. You used to be able to delete that. They're like, nope, we want to track you, your mama, your friends too, all of that, right? It's because everybody's giving it up, because everybody wants to feel important. Everybody wants to feel that they're getting a good deal, because you're really not getting a good deal. I mean, well, yeah, we kind of are getting some good deals, right? That's why I'm like, I don't mind ordering groceries. Yeah, come on to my house. People are like, oh my God, you're so brave to show your kitchen. I'm like, people know everything anyway. It's like, I'm like, what do you mean brave? It's the norm now. I mean, half of this stuff I wish I didn't see. I can't tell you how much I have to spend, how much time I have to spend going down my timeline. Look, unfollow, unfriend. I don't want to see what they got going on. I don't even want to know that part of society is out there. I don't even know that you got some ratchet cousins, and I know it's Easter, and honey, here come these ratchet folk. You want to bring them over to your new house, and they're gonna infringe on everybody else in the neighborhood. Child, honey, let me tell you, I hate holidays. Because one thing, I'm not that person. I don't like the neighbors. And let me tell you, because I can barely deal with them. And then and then you kind of find out they're the best people in their family. Everybody else is worse. Amen. I had the hardest time untagging myself from. It's hard. You cannot untag yourself no more. Because they're like, no, we tracking you, honey. They done gave us permission. They give them and you too. And the only way to get out of it is you have got to unfriend them. And you sitting there like, damn, I don't want to unfriend them. Yes, I do. I don't want to see nothing else. I don't want to see nothing. And then they share some of the stuff. And I'm like, man, I thought you were an intelligent being. That's the only reason I Because clearly, because I'm not that person. I ain't going down add friend, add friend, add friend. I have rarely added a friend. Those are incoming because I don't need that kind of following. Right? Most of the people on my Facebook has been public since day one, and most of the people on my Facebook are associated with DryerBuzz.com. It might be some family on there. We ain't like that. Like, oh wait, I'm related to them. Oh, okay. Oh wait, it's been, I mean, that's just how it is. First of all, I'm an only child. Let that tell you everything. I'm an only child. Okay, let that tell you everything. Okay, she needs no company. She's good, but I swear to you, it's like I love. She loves her tribe. She absolutely loves her tribe. You crack. I'm just saying. I'm an only child, but I love my tribe, y'all. And my tribe is different than family and friends. They're people that they're not even just like me. In fact, in my tribe, we're all unique. We're all individual. It's like we barely, the only thing we have in common is, hell, we don't even know. We have tolerance of each other for some reason. But we are a tribe. We're a tribe and don't even know we're a tribe. It's like we're that one, we're that very small group backing away from you know how you backing away from somebody, you backing away from a stuff and you bump into somebody and then you realize they backing away from it too. That's the thing that we have in common. We all backing away from this crazy stuff. I am just like that. I'm an only child. Right. We all backing away from the crazy, right? And we just happen to bump into each other and then we realize that's what we have in common. We're not trying to be up in the mix with everybody. Right? We feel good. I am lonely. I am lonely. I am the absolute loneliest when I'm around a bunch of people because I don't like dealing with people like that. Know yourself. Look, what did we say? As soon as you know, act on it. As soon as you know, act on it. Right? I cannot stand for somebody to be around me and I feel lonely. Well, that's not how this works. I got to excommunicate you. Right? Go. You got to go. You got to go. Right? Like, as soon as I know, I'm acting on it. So, time-wise, let's get back to time. And all of this basically comes, because the thing of it is, and at the end of the day, I'm concerned about how much of my time you burnt. Y'all, I'm telling you, I am that person. We can entertain ourselves very well, even if it's in front of others. Right? But it's not incumbent upon others. That's the thing about it is we're very entertaining. And I'm an only child also. See what I'm talking about, Vern? Vern and the artist. And we just happen, the three of us, we done just bumped into each other because we're trying to get away from everybody else. And we have found our tribe, right? I'm telling you, that's what I get. We got to figure out what Dria's situation is, right? And we have found our tribe. I mean, that's what it is because that's what we have. And unknowingly, that's the thing that we have in common. But remember, I just said, we never know what we have in burning my time. Exactly. We had no idea what we had in common. Because we're not even checking for what we have in common. It's like, hey, being around you feels good. It's something there. And look and behold what it is. Look and behold what it is there. Because we are particular about our time. We don't waste my time. Do not waste my time. And the things that waste our time is, getting to the end of the day and finding out that we have not been productive, that there was nothing to gain. I gave you nothing to gain. You gave me nothing to gain. And when that happens, as soon as we know, we deal with it, dealt with it, done. Deal with it, dealt with it, done. Okay. But I wanted to talk about workflow because, like I said, I was on Miss Eileen's thing. She started talking about her workflow. And I started writing down my workflow, and I'm like, whoa. Next thing you know, I was on the second page, getting ready to head off to the third page. And I'm like, okay, I have got to figure out how to minimize this. One thing that was really in my head about time-wise was the live cooking scopes. And I said, okay, I have got to do the prep. I've got to break it down. Because the last video, usually the kitchen cam, I turn the kitchen cam on YouTube, and I just let it run, right? But I noticed I'm probably not going to get any replays on that because it is something you watch live. But then there are people going back and just kind of fast forwarding through it. But I said, okay, the prep has got to be one because then that I'm just chit chatting and talking. But the cooking, I have got to get that cooking down, y'all. I've got to get that cooking down. It cannot be a lot of narration. Even though I come back and do a shorter version of it, I've got to break those up. And I hate starting and stopping, but it's necessary. And I think I just explained it when I talked about that restaurant having that same sandwich but serving it, and not even a sandwich, because when you go back at dinner time, it's the same ingredients. They take that same ingredients that they have a 30 that same ingredients becomes a $30 dinner, but they figured out how to take that $30 dinner and make it a $7 lunch. And you can't, and when you go, you better have the expectation that what you're getting for $7 ain't nowhere near what you're gonna get for $30. And the $30 one is double, triple in size. It's got all this gourmet stuff with it. You know, truffle this and LeBlanc or Beurre Blanc that and all that kind of stuff. Stuff we can't even talk about. But during the lunchtime, they take the main part of the entree and put it on a brioche bun with some sauce. And it's the best thing ever. But the influence is you get to say that you ate at the same restaurant as the $30 people. Because isn't that life? Isn't that life? Just like some people go to the swap meet, but yet they still went walking around in the same brand as the person that went to the upscale mall, right? You know, you better not even park your car at the upscale mall, let alone. So you go to the swap meet and you buying last season, where they buying next season, but yet y'all still rocking the same brand. So this is where we are with with this technology. Here we are. We're using last season. They're buying next season technology, and they have put last season's technology on sale for the rest for the rest of us. And it's so funny because I was around at the beginning of all of this, and it wasn't as complicated. It wasn't this complicated then because you were used to these long ways around doing stuff. You were used to complicated today was the norm back then. And so again, my dog is snoring. I didn't even put him out. He is over here snoring. So y'all probably hear him snoring. Oh, I wish I could sleep as well as he does at the drop of a dime. So this is clearly a how to get out of bed. Let me see. Do I have a time on here anywhere? Let me see. I'm trying to see how long I have been on. 37. Okay. I'm trying to keep these things to 45 minutes or less. And I know that's long, but it's a podcast, so I have to put it on other platforms. So we need to be at least about 40. In 45 minutes, how I chose 45 minutes is 1. 4 plus 5 is 9. But I chose 45 minutes because old school, if you used to sit under the dryer in the hair salon, it went up to 45 minutes. It was a 45-minute dryer, right? Not even 60, it was 45 minutes was the standard dryer. So I love 45. And then I'm like, whoa, that's 9. Y'all know I love my 9s. I love my 9s, my 27s, and all that kind of stuff. So we're just talking, Chelsea just came back, but we're just talking about time-wise, productivity. A lot of changes going on now because conferences, associations, developers are getting ready to go up. So they're doing so much. My 2 are snoring as well. I know he's over there laying in the sunshine. And luckily, I couldn't decide what to cook. I couldn't decide. My daughter just got back from her cruise, but they're still celebrating friend's birthday, so she's not here. My son's traveling. My oldest says she will probably cook something later on, so she might even have clients. She might even have clients today. I don't know if she ran an Easter special. She has a salon, so a lash business, makeup and all that, so she might be busy. So I was like, you know what? I'll just work on my workflow. And when I tell y'all, let me just give y'all a little bit of time-wise workflow. During just this podcast here alone, I have to go live, multi-stream it to the various platforms. Then the minute I get done, the minute I hit the stop button, I put it in another app to rip the audio. I then load that audio to a platform that will then syndicate it as an audio podcast. And then I have to go and find a couple of clips that was pretty good. And then I have to post that to IG. Okay. Then if nothing works, I go Periscope only. If Periscope is tripping, I just record the audio, and I have to go and I have a workflow for the manual process. Now for in the kitchen, I have to go live. I have to in the kitchen about 2 hours. Remember I said 2 hours before going live, I have to order the groceries, stop trying to go shopping because where I would normally shop is I sourced three different stores for the produce. So I have to think about this thing. Like I'm not going live with in the kitchen until Wednesday. I've even had to like stop trying to cook on Tuesday. But I did a live. I know she said Wednesday, but she was just live. Yeah, I did a live because I had some remnants of Wednesday, and I'm like, I need to finish making the ravioli because I had to stop and go to the theater. So I did a live yesterday. Was it yesterday? I just did a random live finishing up that ravioli because I had to stop on the lot time wise. I had to stop because I had to drive across town to the theater. So already I am in pre-production mode for what I'm going to do Wednesday, and it needs to be salmon again unless we eat up this salmon because for some reason I saw some salmon on sale and I bought a huge package of salmon and I'm like, why? But I need to eat some salad, so I might eat the salmon with salad. So I'm dropping stuff into my cart, and that I'll send that on Wednesday morning, 2 hours before we go live, and we go live. I don't even know what time we go live. Um, in that 2 hours, and I always choose a 2 hour window because then that gives me time to procrastinate a little bit on getting dressed, taking my shower, getting dressed, wardrobe, the hair, trying to put on a little bit of makeup, uh, reorganizing the kitchen from the rest of the week, getting the shot ready, testing the equipment, charging the bed. All of that, y'all, goes into and there are those of us who we don't have a set schedule. It looks like we just push these buttons. Remember, I said it's funding season. It's funding season, and I know we are seeking funding. You swipe to some of the profiles, you'll see that we have a campaign going on because creating content, if I'm thinking about what I need to do for the summer and the spring, I'm pitching just like everybody else. I'm pitching how to get out of bed. I'm pitching to get funding for that so that I could turn this podcast into a book. And it's funny because people don't like to hear that you want this stuff to grow. We have got to do better understanding that these things have various levels to them, so I'm pitching three things. I am pitching how to get out of bed, and I'm trying to say to myself, Yolanda, that's enough. It's enough. And you know what? We never say that. I am trying to. I had to put it to the side. The book club, it's hard work. I had to put that to the side. So even though it's book festival season, and don't think that I am not feeling a bit of FOMO on the book side of things, because I have a virtual book club. But I had to say to myself, that was last year. That was last season. That's not coming forward. You can't bring that forward. That work. There are two things that I can't bring forward. I can't bring forward Breakfast with DryerBuzz. I can't. That was then. And that has to be done. You have to be done with that. You've won. I have to say to myself, you've won that race. You're not going to get back in that race. And every time I try, because there's still a demand for it and people still ask for it. But then that anxiety, it's some anxiety that comes with that because people don't understand the last event, was the beginning of the trauma that I had to then go through. The last breakfast, I spent that moment at breakfast praying that I could make it back to my mother, praying that I would have enough time to get back. I had to leave my mother's bedside to do that breakfast. And people don't understand. They're like, oh my God, breakfast was wonderful. But you don't understand. Breakfast was part of the survival. Breakfast with DryerBuzz was part of that survival. So I don't want to do breakfast no more. And I'm only laughing to keep from crying. I don't want to do breakfast no more because the last breakfast was on my son's birthday. He was traveling. No, he was here. No, I think he had just gotten home. He had just gotten home, and it was literally the week before my mom's passing, and I remember praying that she could hold on while I leave her bedside and go do that breakfast. And that was the worst. And I get those memories coming up, and those memories are attached to that. But I can look at the bright side of that and be thankful for it, that I was able to do that in a sense of gathering, um, and to keep my sanity during all of that going on. And so I don't want to do that. But I also think of that was a nice beta test to see that that worked. The book club was also tied to that era, So I have to leave those two things. There was some traveling I did at that time. And I look back now and I'm like, man, how did I do all those things? There's a reason. If you ever find yourself trying to figure out how you did something, you did it because it was necessary. You did it because it was a blessing to you. You did it because it was meant for you at that time. The problem comes in when we continue to try to do these things beyond their time. We got to learn how to let go. Time wise, we've got to learn how to let go. Let me turn to, I don't have my larger journal because I'm working in a different spot. I'm gonna write this at the top of this page so I can remember to go and put it in the journal. Time wise, we got to realize, and we keep talking about that reason, season, lifetime, which is alchemy, which is Iyanla. You got to recognize what's supposed to happen in the time it's supposed to happen. If something keeps surfacing, keep coming up, it's simply because you need to deal with it. It could be good, it could be bad, it could be indifferent, but it keeps coming up because you need to deal with it. You need to be present in it. You need to be present in whatever that is. Go ahead, as soon as you know, go ahead and make a decision. Are your prayers, are you praying to procrastinate? Are you praying for more time simply because you're not ready to act on it? You're not ready to do it. You feel like you can't deal with it right now. You ain't got enough money right now. Listen, a lot of times it might not even be the money. It may just be you're just not ready to make that decision. You're not ready to finalize. You're not ready for the finale of some of these things. Time wise, it's eating up your time, y'all. Some of this stuff is just taking up too much of our time. Let me look at the clock. 46. We're a minute over. I'm gonna get ready to get out of here and wish you guys on and have your good holiday. If you are a content provider, you want to push out content. I tell y'all every time, just because it's a holiday doesn't mean that you get a holiday. Go ahead and continue to do what you do. If this is a normal day that you do what you do it because the audience is 10x right now. Everybody is out there trying to show family and friends what they consume online. Somebody's showing your podcast, somebody's showing your video, somebody is showing your channel, your profile. They're talking about you. Go ahead and continue to do what you do. This is so true. How did I do it all? You ask yourself all the time, how did you do it all? That's one of the things I love about social media is I can go back and say, well, dang, how did I do all of that? And social media will let you know. Like, I love when those anniversary posts come up. And YouTube has started doing anniversary posts as well. I like that. It's like, hey, you had this video. It did well. Why don't you celebrate it by sharing and da-da-da. And I'm like, whoa, how did I do that? To this day, I don't know how on earth I did all that. I did it. You know why? You know how I did it? I did it because I had to. That's some of the best motivation ever, right? Trying to get yourself out of some hot water, trying to get yourself over a hump, trying to get yourself beyond the place you don't want to be. That's the best motivation ever. All right. And a couple other highlights in this. We talked about how a number of these platforms, a number of things right now, including our JOBs and all that, everybody's trying to get 100% out of you. It's time to recognize that 100% is probably, I don't know. Is it? I'm not gonna declare. I'm not gonna make that a declaration. I'm gonna ask the question, and let's talk about it sometime in the future. Is 100% still possible? Even when I was making the pasta yesterday, I'm like, I don't even want 100% of one particular flour. And I'm like, I like a 60-30-10. And I was like, oh, damn, how do I measure that? 60-30-10. If I'm using 3 flours, one is going to be 60%, one's going to be 30%, one's going to be 10%. And then I'm doing it in grams. So I said to myself, oh, damn, I complicated that measuring so much. I'm like, duh, Yolanda, 60 grams, 30 grams, 10 grams. I was trying to cut the recipe in half, which I'm actually going to run in here now and whip up some, I'm going to run in here now and try to whip up test this beet. I got to find my beet powder. I want to make a pasta that's made out of beet powder. And I was trying to cut the recipe in half, and the recipe is 200 grams, right? So that's like 200%. So it's 200 grams, which is 100%, not 200%. 100, it's 200 grams, which represents 100%. And I'm like, man, I want to cut the recipe in half. So okay, so cut it in half, 200 grams, 100 grams. But then I know this sounds hella complicated, but it's not, right? So I had 200 grams. I want to cut it in half. That gives me what? 100 grams. But then I want to divide that up into into three flours, but I want to add a fourth. So the fourth doesn't count in the equation because the fourth is just color and flavor. But I still need to keep in mind that I need to have enough moisture to incorporate that extra dry ingredient, right? I need to have enough wet ingredient to accommodate that extra dry ingredient, right? But the extra dry ingredient I don't factor into the math of the flour. So I said, okay, so I want to use 3 flours in a range of 60, 30, 10. So then I was like, but I got 100 grams. I'm like, oh, but 60, 30, 10 is 100. So I'm just going to use 60% of one flour, 30% of another, 10% of another. Then I'm going to add in the other. So the extra dry ingredient, I could either count that dry as, if I count that dry, if that fourth is a 10%, then now I've got to break down the 60%. Because I know the 30% has to be semolina. So now of the 60%, do I want the 60% to be 50-50 or 80-20? Right, it's math. And y'all talk about we don't use math. You use math. So of the 60 grams, if I want the 60 grams to be 50-50, that would clearly say, well, Yolanda used 30% all-purpose, 30% whole wheat. That sounds simple enough, but I know that the whole wheat is heavy. It's really heavy, and I don't know that I want the pasta to be really heavy. So do I want it 80-20? So then I would divide the 60% up by 80-20. 80% of 60 is what? Right, somebody do that math for me. Which would be what? 40, I could do 40-20. I'm thinking 40, 20. That's what I'm thinking. That's 60. I got to break down to 60. So I'm thinking 40 grams of all-purpose and 20 grams of whole wheat. And that'll give me my 60. Because I want the whole wheat in it just because I'm trying to use up the whole wheat. And I don't have that much whole wheat left, but I want to get rid of this whole wheat. So I'm thinking 60 grams all-purpose for those that want the recipe. 40 grams all-purpose, 20 grams whole wheat, 30 grams semolina, and the 10 grams, which would be the beet powder. And I'm going to make these little round discs. And I'm going to, that's going to be the pasta. I'm not going to stuff them, although I do need to practice this particular fold. So that's going to, I'm not doing a ravioli because I don't think I have anything left to stuff with the although I do have the last of the oxtails in there, y'all. And everybody wants to see an oxtail ravioli. There we go. I'm going to stuff them with the oxtail, and I'm going to cook them in some red wine. Hell, it's Jesus Day. I think red wine would be adequate. I don't know how. Time-wise, I just worked through that one. And time-wise, I'm going to give y'all time back. I want y'all, please go enjoy your holiday. If you're catching this as a replay any other day, always swipe to the profile to see, because we could be live right now. How to get out of bed is something that happens. The first thoughts is where we take a moment and just get some clarity in our day to help us get out of bed and to help us to understand why we got out of bed if you're already out of bed, and just to help you live. It's a daily podcast about living daily. I know every time I say that, I want to say a daily podcast about daily living, but I want to challenge myself to say it the other way around, simply because it is a challenge. A daily podcast about living daily. I know, girl, bye. All right, y'all, have a great day. Let's do what we do best, and let's get out.